Okay, the second one is the bell tower portico. This is the exit from the atrium. Nave is over here. You walk straight through the atrium and then out the atrium, garden off to the left to this side over here. You go down the bell tower portico, and essentially you would have freestanding units like we had on the left-hand side of the picture that I showed initially. Those would be the same type of setup where you would have the concrete masonry unit again to keep the same look and feel of the rest of the other facilities. This would be a similar thing to the baptismal area where we would establish this, have it poured right off the bat. This would be benches initially. So you would have the columbarium here, benches directly across, and at some future date, if we wanted to expand, we could expand in this location right here very easily. You could also expand over here or over here. So there are multiple options in this bell tower portico. We're just showing you one particular one. What we would probably recommend is to start out is to have this unit here and then future expansion unit right here with initially benches like we did in the transept area.
Aesthetically, wouldn't you need to have them in the other two as well?
Well, I don't know.
Let's block the view from the windows.
Yeah, that's the reason why, because I asked the same question. I said, well, why don't you just put it down here or put two over here and then benches over here? You could, but then you block the windows. You block light, you block the view from the Simeon Center. So this is how this one would look. What this picture doesn't show is the other pad. So what you would see is you'd actually, excuse me, don't want my coffee all over the place. You'd actually see another unit about 5 foot high right here, and that's where the seating would be. So you'd sit there and you can look right across into the columbarium. This is open. It's deceptive in the rendition. This is actually open. This goes out to the end of the wall is right here. This goes out to where the choir enters and into the transept area over there. So this is an open area.
So it essentially blocks the passageway from the choir area to...
No, that's actually around the corner. The choir area going in is directly around the corner. Yeah, this is the Simeon Center right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are Simeon Center windows along this wall. But effectively, that's the bell tower portico option. Any questions on that one? Go ahead,
Is
Jeff.
there any sort of plan to build like gates at the end or metal fencing? So this
No.
pretty well just kind of puts it out in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very close to the street.
Yeah, very close to the street. It is somewhat protected, if you will, by the structure itself, and by the fact that the columbarium is between two columns. So there is a certain element of low profile, if you will. I mean, it's not like the columbarium is sitting like right out here, or right out here, or right out here.
Well, I'm just thinking like on Saturday when kids are running up and down
Yeah.
the sidewalk.
That is a
riding their
limitation.
bikes and-
That is a limitation. Absolutely. Yep. Any other observations, questions? Okay. Go ahead, Marlene.
Is there a difference in price between the two things?
Great question. Can I show you my next slide? Okay. The approximate cost to build is about the same for each of those options. It's about $30,000 to $35,000. Now, they needed to do some additional work on whichever one we select to kind of get that down. But that's the estimate that we have right now, and working with companies, looking at the pricing that they have, and obviously the expert knowledge of folks like Bill and Craig Staten in terms of their support of this effort.
Well, does it give the same amount of niches? The one there by the bell tower as it does?
Yes, initially. Right.
That one
80
wall to
niches.
begin with.
That one wall to begin with gives about 80 niches. It gives 80 niches, and the arched columbarium at the baptismal transept gives 80 niches. So initially, it's the exact same. I suspect that the baptismal area will be slightly more in cost, but I mean we're talking maybe $2,000 to $3,000. It's not one is 30 and one is 40. That's kind of why we gave this range of between 30 and 35. We're pretty sure about the 30 in that range for the bell tower portico, and the baptismal font area is probably going to be a little bit more than that. So that's kind of why we gave you this range at this point. And as I said, once the council once we get your inputs and the council reviews this and we provide feedback back to the group, they will do a much more precise, obviously, analysis of the cost, and then we would let some kind of contract based on those costs. And we've got a slide to talk about schedule and way ahead after this meeting. So anyway, that's the cost, the estimate. Per niche cost is about between 9 and 12. Again, that spread is just based on analysis. We need to get down to the fine number, and then we can say whether it's a low or whether it's a high. If you look at some of the other ones by comparison, indoor, obviously the cost is a little bit less. You don't need these concrete masonry units and things to cover it, or gates, or things like that. So the cost per niche will be a little bit less. If you look at the outside of Trinity and Lynchburg, theirs is $1,200 cost per niche. So we're hoping to come, right in the middle of that, or hopefully towards the lower end cost per niche. As far as the actual funding of it, our proposal, and it's viable, is to use funds initially out of the Memorial Fund. There's money there to do that. This obviously is consistent with that kind of use of those funds. It would be obviously subject to the congregation in terms of vote on that, but initially use the memorial funds. The funds are there to support this. The money is there. And then based on sale of niches, the memorial fund would be reimbursed. So basically the memorial fund provides the upfront resources in order to do it, and then recoups that based on the sale of niches. As far as approvals required, obviously we will need a building permit required. That'll all be taken care of. There is not a concern, but it is something that we'll have to work through. I am told that there should not be an issue with this, but it obviously is something that anytime you're dealing with the city, anything can hang up. So if I were to say what's going to hang us up, this might be the thing that hangs us up. And it's the same thing that we had kind of an issue with Pastor Stowe's burial and Joy's approval to establish a burial site in the garden, is that we're zoned residential and rural residential. And so in terms of establishing either a columbarium or something dealing with remains of individuals, we'd have to work that through the city. I'm told that they don't have an issue with it, but I'm just kind of letting you know that when they say that, then you can be assured that there's going to be something to work through.
Well,
and we'll work through that.
Put Craig's stake on it. He did a great job out there.
Right. Hey, you guys are doing great. So, as far as implementation, who's on the team? It's going to be led by Bill Monroe and Craig State. They've got connections, they know who to talk with, they've got the smarts in order to do this, and they have graciously agreed to lead the effort. So this is the implementation road that we see ahead. We have a questionnaire for you, very short questionnaire that we'd like you to fill out this morning, and Ed's going to pass that out to you now. And effectively, it just asks for your input on the presentation and on the locations that are provided as food for thought. Once we get those inputs back, we will review that. The team will review that. Council will talk about that with the team, and then we'll come up with some kind of finalized plan on which location we would like to recommend to the congregation. We'd have some kind of, we'd have some kind of congregational vote on a motion in the April time frame, finalize the designs in the May time frame, start pre-sales for those niches, contract established in June, construction in the July to September time frame, and then we're hoping for a dedication in the October time frame. It's a fairly aggressive schedule, but the team feels that it's doable. It's something that we feel we can execute in that timeline.